Hi there. So I wanted to do a video as a follow-up from the last one, which talks about some visions that I had years ago, which kind of tie into all this and when I first started getting an interest. So as I said in the last video, have had no interest in what's going on like in society really. I've not owned a television for 21 years or something like this. I've not really read the news. Like, sure, I've watched the odd bit or read the odd thing, but it's just not something that I've really engaged in or had any interest in for a long time. And suddenly this war between Russia and Ukraine, it's just drawn me in. And it's not because of any narrative. I don't have actually any strong feeling of what's going on at the center of this right now. I don't that isn't clear to me right now, other than nothing is really ever what it seems. But do I think Putin is here to save the world? No, to be honest. I'm not on that way of thinking, and I know a lot of truthers have expressed those opinions, but that's not what I feel. I don't feel a good energy there. Obviously, this is all my opinion, my channeling, and everyone, is going to have their own opinion. And yeah, I don't want to say this is fact in any way. And so something has just really drawn me on this, because it feels like we've come to this massive crossroad and things are just going to really, really, really speed up now to end times. Like I said, I didn't really have too much interest in the Bible. I know what Revelations is, but I've suddenly got this massive interest in it. And this can play out in so many different ways. Like, to me, end times isn't the end of time. I just want to say that. To me, end times represents a new beginning. It represents a chance to have different values as a humanity. And yes, sometimes a lot of pain and destruction has to come before that, but I see it as a new way of living. But I do feel like those of us that are called, it's sort of time to prepare and get things in place. Obviously, that's going to be different for all of us, and I think that's where it's about following your guidance. Do I think it's about buying silver and gold? No. The thing is, currency, if something massive happens and the world is no longer as we know it, currency is going to be pointless anyway. No one's going to swap you a loaf of bread for a Bitcoin, a bit of silver, everyone. And the thing is, in the initial months, if something like that really happened, there'd be empty houses, there'd be empty shops. You could just walk in and help yourself to these things, and people wouldn't be seeing that much value in them, because the immediate value is like food. And you would hope in the immediate thing that people would want to work together to do those things rather than be looting. I mean, who knows? But you're not safe anyway, because if people are going to be looting, then A, you can just walk and get something, and B, people can take stuff off you. In the immediate aftermath, I really don't believe having a cupboard full of silver is really going to help you, because you're maybe going to want to migrate or move. What are you going to do? Take this massive bag of silver spoons, and I just don't think this is something that immediately is going to be a big worry if something were to happen on that kind of scale. Having skills is going to be really the most important thing, learning skills that, we will, like basic first aid, how to generate electricity, how to grow food. These are going to be things that are going to be far more important if something happens to the world where there's not that many people left. Like I said, there's going to be so much silver and gold lying around. You'll just be able to walk in somewhere and take it. How to purify water. I'm not saying everyone has to do that either, because I do honestly believe we'll be guided and we'll be drawn, if we're intuitive, to what we're supposed to be doing, should anything like that occur. But I do just have a feeling this is going somewhere. And I don't think this war in itself is actually going to lead to World War III. And I don't actually think, when I had visions, it wasn't a war-torn place that I was left in. I think there's going to be all kinds of things like biological, But you know, what we do have to do is follow our intuition. At the end of the day, we're a soul having a human experience, and I don't want to put fear into people. I just feel really guided to make this video, to share what I'm experiencing. But I don't want people to be afraid, because we are a soul, we're having a human experience, and you know, the soul is immortal, and it doesn't matter what happens here on earth. We are immortal beings. And if we're meant to be here to usher in something new, then, you know, as long as we follow our intuition, then that's going to happen. You know, we'll find a way for that to happen. So, yeah, people shouldn't go out and panic and be crazy or anything like this, but I think it's just important right now that we follow our intuition about any steps that we are guided to take personally. Like if you feel you're supposed to move, or if you feel you're supposed to go and buy some extra things. But last night, so ever since this war broke out, I've just been really fascinated by it. I've just been feeling such a strong feeling inside of me that whilst this isn't going to be a World War III, this is like the catalyst event, and things are going to be very, very fast from now. And a lot of upheaval is going to happen before we reach that place of unity, new earth, new ways of being. And last night I heard the words in my head, like the trumpet has sounded. And I didn't really know what that meant, but I did know there was something in Revelations about a trumpet, but I had no idea what it was. And I've since researched it, and yeah, it doesn't sound great, does it? But I mean, I think we're built for what's to come. We wouldn't have been sent here at this time if we couldn't handle what's going to come. And that's really it. And of course, there's different options. There's always different paths. And you know, I've hesitated to put these things out for a long time because, you know, obviously I believe in manifesting and I believe in creating our reality, but I have always had this kind of feeling about this, and it's where it felt so far off. Now it doesn't. Now it feels like I'm just being told, you know, get ready, like it's time to prepare yourself for what's to come. And I don't feel necessarily really bad about that. It just feels like it's going to be a big thing, and like the next few years are really going to be intense. But like I said, we wouldn't have been sent here at this time if we couldn't handle what we're about to go through. And remember that this is just our physical experience, but I do believe we are here to help this planet find a new way of interacting with one another, interacting with the planet, and however that has to come about, it's going to come about. And I don't think it's going to be sort of a purely smooth road. Some people do. Some people think like everything's going to be all great now and rosy. I just have this really strong feeling of just needing to be prepared, and being ready to hear your call and what you need to step up and do. And yeah, like I said, I last night heard the trumpet sounding, and I was told the trumpet like has sounded. And I really believe that means that we're like entering Revelations now. Wasn't even really religious, but I do really feel that calling, that we're entering Revelations, and we really have to hear our own call now. Like, what are we called to do? How are we called to help? How are we called to aid this sort of transition that we're going to go through? It's going to be perhaps painful at times. And yeah, I just wanted to share this. And yeah, not everyone might not agree with me, but I just felt a call to put these videos out tonight. So, and I actually feel a bit of a call to kind of tap into this energy a lot more and to share a little bit more as well on this. So yeah, I hope everyone is okay, and yeah, just don't panic. Everything is as it should be, and we're all going to be guided in our own ways. And you know, there is always different timelines and different ways that things can come about. So the more of us that just focus on peace and what we want to happen and how we want the world to be, then you know, that's going to add a positive impact and hopefully make that timeline to get there a little bit easier. So good night.